You decided to rent a house together,
Yes.
and things weren't working out.
She's telling me that I stole some of her stuff.
Did you file a restraining order?
She showed up at my children's school while I was dropping them off.
Did you go to her kids' school?
Yeah.
I'm losing my patience.
For tuition and administrative fees.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2126, Slago versus McCurchin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You run a school.
Yes, ma'am. It's a program.
Is it a school or a program?
It's a program.
What's the difference?
The program is not a school where the children come every day. They come twice a week. Parents?
They come twice a week online.
No, we are
in person.
in person, yes.
Okay, so twice a week they are there at a brick and mortar place.
Yes.
And how long have you had this program?
We actually started this program during the lockdown in 2020 spring. So this is at the end of our first semester of our third year.
Okay, and tell me, who runs the program?
I do.
You have an educational background?
I do. I have a master's in education.
Does anybody run the program with you?
I have a staff, but I'm the sole director.
Is this an annual program?
We do operate on a semesterly basis as far as payments, but the classes just roll over from first semester to second semester.
And is there a contract?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to show me the contract that the defendant signed on behalf of his son?
Yes.
Because that's what this case is about.
Yes.
The only interesting part of the case is your son was enrolled in the program. He was terminated from the program for, let's say, misconduct.
That's true.
And it was misconduct that was replicated in violation of the rules at least 3 times.
Kind of.
Not kind of, at least 3 times that you acknowledge.
Okay.
That's not an okay. That's not an okay.
not.
That's either a yes or a no. I mean, I read about 3 instances of cheating. You acknowledge that in your answer.
Well, it's different. It's different.
You mean he cheated differently?
No, he didn't cheat
Yes, well, that's what-
differently. I mean, I can explain.
It was explained in the papers.
Okay.
And you weren't there, so you can't explain. But you acknowledge the fact that he cheated. He was given a warning. You were advised. He cheated again. You were given a warning, and he was allowed to continue. On the 3rd such event, the school terminated him. Is that what I read?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you acknowledge in your papers.
Yes. Yes. ma'am.
Okay, well, that's a yes. And he was within a semester. You would pay the tuition and then try to reverse the payment because you paid on a credit card.
Yes, I paid with credit card. Yes.
Okay, and then when you got the bill, you challenged that payment, which you had in fact received, and whatever you told the credit card company as a result of what you told them, the payment was reversed and taken off your credit card.
That is correct.
Right. And so they are here now seeking that tuition payment from a court. That's why we're here, to see whether contractually, because this is a breach of contract action, you were obligated to pay the tuition even though your son was not in the program because he was dismissed for cause, which you acknowledge. Are we clear on where we are?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So now I'm going to look at the contract.
I'd like to add that...
Just let me look at the
Oh,
contract
okay.
first.
Well, if you see contract, they're signed by my party. I want to see it too because I don't see my name. I sign a contract. That's a statement probably, or it's a...
It's a payment agreement.
Yes.
That's not
Did
a
they-
contract,
Yeah, payment agreement is a contract, sir.
but signed by me.
Well, it says signed Arena and Jack.
Okay.
Is Arena your wife?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So this says, I understand that payments are due even if classes or memberships are dropped, subject to the refund policy. Well, what's the refund policy and where is that in writing?
It is on our website, and they signed it. It was a form that they had to sign.
Well, I'd like to see the form that they signed, because I have to see what the terms are of that.
These are the terms of the refund.
Thank you.
That's a screenshot of our website.
No, the website is unimportant to me. You say you have an agreement signed by them. I'd like to see it.
Well, the agreement that we have signed was the installment agreement, so I'm sorry.
Well, I only have one payment agreement. What I said I want to see is a refund policy. You said you have that they signed. I don't see
They
that
don't sign the policy. They sign
Well,
the agreement. The policy is a written policy.
Well, I would like to see the written policy.
That's what we have on our website, and it's clearly...
No.
No? Okay.
No, what you have to do is you have to incorporate something by agreement in this contract. If you say the refund policy as outlined in the website, because other than that, it's meaningless.
Okay.
You know, you're saying we have a refund policy, and we assume that you looked on the website to see what the policy is.
We also do go over it in parent meetings with the parents.
That you can't do because you have a written agreement.
Right.
And anything that's outside of that agreement, unless it's referenced in the agreement, is inadmissible because the intention of it is to somehow change or modify the terms of your written contract. Okay, so in what month did the defendant's son start the program?
In August of 2021.
And it runs in 2 semesters. And when was he terminated?
He was terminated in February of 2022.
You were in a semester program?
Yes.
So am I correct that the first 2 episodes of cheating were in the first semester?
Yes.
When?
The first one was early in November. It happened to be the 3rd week of our 2nd semester. The next one was a couple of weeks later in the same month of November.
Okay, so the semester had started.
Mm-hmm. Second semester.
Yes. And on what day in February was he terminated?
He was terminated on February 24th, I believe. Yes.
And when you terminated, the defendant, I assume, paid the entire semester's tuition for the 2nd semester.
The 2nd semester, he signed the installment agreement, which is what you have there.
This is a payment agreement.
Right, that's it.
Well,
We agreed
just
to pay in installments.
No, it says, I agree to pay all charges by due dates according to the payment plan. I don't have a signed payment plan from anybody. Do you have one?
I'm sorry, that's what we use for our signed payment plan.
Well, you should use something different. This is not a payment plan. This says he will pay according to a payment plan. I'm looking for the payment plan. You pay by the month, you pay by the semester. How do you pay?
It's a semesterly fee that's broken into 4 payments, so they don't have to pay it all up front.
Okay.
They can choose to, but
And so when was the defendant's last payment?
they paid through the semester,
Through what semester?
2nd semester,
Okay, so they paid in full.
through the installment. So what happens is they agree to be automatically billed. And so every month, a certain amount comes out.
Just a second. So what you're saying is when they sign up, they give you authority to pull out from their bank
Yes,
whatever the tuition is for that month.
right.
Okay. And according to your records, when was the last payment that you received for the defendant's son prior to terminating him?
Prior to terminating him, we received a payment in February.
And you terminated him on February 24th.
Yes.
How much was that payment?
It was, have it right here. You know what? I don't know.
$350 every
It's
month.
300, that's right. $350.
I know, I got charged the extra month, so I know the number.
Okay. So it was $350 that you paid the beginning of February, and he was there in February.
That is correct.
Okay. In what month did you dispute the charge?
Well,
No, not well. I said, in what month?
May. I only realized in May she's been charging.
Just a second.
He was plagiarized by teachers.
It was plagiarized, and your son was there in February.
That is correct.
Did you pay in March?
It was taken out of my account without me knowing, but yes.
Is that $350?
That is correct.
And did you pay in April?
I did pay in April.
Okay. Now, the May payment, is the May payment the payment that you canceled?
No, on the May, I also paid for a May payment. Looking at my statements, I said, why are we paying for the child? He doesn't go to this school anymore. And that's when I called them. And then I called my credit card company, explained to what happened. They said, we are going to charge the money back to your account. And that's when I kind of looked through paperwork. And I'm an immigrant in this country. I don't read really well. I can speak. And my son, he's a young guy, and he knows exactly what it is. And that's what I brought him. I said, can you see, do we owe these people money? And if you guys allow it, I can have Alex to explain what here shows.
Just see it. He doesn't have to explain anything to me.
Okay.
I'm not new to the country, and I was legally trained, so I don't need your son. I assume you're not legally trained?
I am not.
To interpret something,
No,
a
just-
piece of paper. So now I will look at the piece of paper that you're relying on, but I want to tell you this, sir. I pay the tuition for a lot of people, a lot, because I have 13 grandchildren
Okay.
in school.
Okay.
I'll take that, Kevin. Thank you, I'm sorry. I know that if one of my kids or grandkids goes to school and gets expelled, and I've paid the tuition, because I'm not on a payment plan. Parents send the bill directly. and so I pay the tuition, but I know if one of the kids in November, once I pay the tuition, gets caught cheating on a test or plagiarizing a paper, and he or she is dismissed from the school, they're not going to give me my tuition back, even though he's not in school. I'm not going to get the tuition back for that semester.
That's true.
That's what I'm telling you. I know that. So now I'm going to see what you want me to read that suggests that in this case, even though your son was terminated for cause from the school for cheating.
Dismissal versus termination is different.
No, it's not different at all. It's this exact same thing. Dismissed, terminated, expelled, all the same thing. If you look them up under synonyms for each other in the dictionary, you will find they're all the same. He was excised from the school because he cheated despite multiple warnings. So he was expelled from cause. I just want you to understand that. Did you go to college?
Currently enrolled.
Currently. Stand up. You look like a nice young man. Where do you go to school?
Cal Poly Pomona.
And who pays the tuition?
I do.
Now, what's your first name?
Alex.
Now, Alex, you do know that if you got expelled from college for cheating in the middle of a semester, you wouldn't get your tuition back for that semester. You do know that.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Well, that's what we're dealing with
Could
here.
I add something?
Sure.
Well, according to their honesty policy, they made a clear difference between dismissal and expulsion.
I'm going to look at it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what you gave me now acknowledges that you received the refund policy. Thank you very much, because she wasn't able to prove that she gave it to you, but now you gave it to me, so I know you were given the refund policy when you enrolled your son in school.
So we weren't given, but it's something they have it on their website for you to...
Just a second. Well, then you look. You don't have to sign. Then you looked at the website. You gave me this. Do you understand?
After
That's what I
this
mean,
happened,
legal.
I went and tried to understand.
Well,
what
you should have
happened.
done it before.
Well, when
You were
I own a
perfectly
construction
capable of
company,
doing it
when
before.
I sign a contract, I sign and I explain everything.
You
and
just
people get
told me
copies.
5 minutes ago that you didn't sign any contract. Well, now you acknowledge that you signed the contract. I'm just reading this that you gave me.
A contract has to be
Yes, sir.
complete contract. If
Just
there
a
is
second.
something...
For somebody who's, not here, not from this country, and doesn't understand things, you seem to understand things very well.
I know the contract has to be completed.
Oh,
so
well,
if I give
that's
it
very
some-
good. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that.
So if I give a contract for a statement, then I say, go in my website to read about our refund policy. That's not part of the contract. That's their rules, no? I didn't sign refund policy.
You don't have to sign a refund policy. You just have to be aware of it.
If I don't know how to get into website or don't know.
You gave me the evidence.
But this
sir.
was done after everything done. I
I'm
looked
not
into
sure.
it. Okay?
You were certainly aware of how to do it, either before or after.
When I sign contract with someone, I disclose everything and they initial and they get copies. I get copies, and that's a legal bonding contract.
Good. What law school did you go to?
None.
Well, there are two things here, but the final piece here says the consequence for academic dishonesty or plagiarism is a score of 0 on the assignment and possibly dismissal from the class.
Okay.
So your son did that in the first semester at least twice. Repeated dishonesty can result in suspension or expulsion. Now you can stand up, because your father says he doesn't understand everything. I think he understands everything just fine. But in case he wants to have you there. Now, when you were discussing this with your father. Did you have any conversation with him that suggested to him that, you know, if I went to college and I cheated 3 times or 4 times or plagiarized a paper and I was kicked out of school, I wouldn't get my tuition back? Did you tell him that?
No, we had similar talks, but no, nothing on the school. We talked about, for instance, the signing contract for, let's say, a 1-year lease agreement to live somewhere, but if you breach the contract and they decide to kick you out, it's the same thing as expulsion. You're not required to finish the 1-year contract with them. You don't have to continue paying.
If they decide
What are you
to
kidding?
I am not. If you get evicted from a property, do you have to continue paying the entire year's lease?
Yeah.
Not familiar with that.
If you breach a lease, he or she can evict you. And yes, you will be responsible for the remainder of the lease.
Oh, I was unaware of that.
Yes, you will be responsible for the remainder of the lease. You have to understand, and your father has to understand, the reason that he was expelled is his fault. And the reason he was expelled had nothing to do with them. It had to do with your father, because you were put on notice that he was plagiarizing and cheating on tests. If what you're suggesting is the 3 times that your son was caught cheating were the only times he cheated, your woman is your niece.
Yes.
And this young lady is the ward of your niece.
Yes.
You have guardianship over her. Is she related to you?
No, she's related to my wife.
Okay. But you have guardianship.
We both do.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
You had an automobile.
Yes.
It was an automobile that you allowed your niece to use, and it was at her house.
Yes.
That was in September of 2020. Her car was in the shop, whatever. Anyway, your niece went out of town for a while.
Yes.
Do you remember what date that was?
October 17th of 2020.
And prior to your going out of town, had Miss Scales ever driven the car?
No.
Had you ever given her permission to drive the car?
No.
Now, Miss Scales, there did come a time in October of 2020 that you took the car.
Yes.
Tell me how you managed to get a hold of the car.
So the keys, we have a key hook in the front of our house, and I just used the keys there.
Did you ask anyone?
No.
Tell me why.
I had a scare that I was afraid to do by myself,
What kind of scare?
a pregnancy scare,
Okay. So you took the car to go where?
to who I was dating at the time.
What time of the day did you take the car?
Between the times of 4 and 6 p.m.,
And at what time did you have an accident with the car?
I would say between 7 and 8 p.m.
Had you already seen the boyfriend?
No,
Where were you between 7 and 8? Where were you
Driving.
going? Driving to who?
to the boyfriend.
Oh, so it takes a while to get there.
Yes,
How long?
about an hour.
In any event, you had an accident.
Yes.
The car was totaled. You had insurance.
Yes.
And had you told your niece that you had insurance on the car?
Yes.
Okay, because she says that you had told her you had insurance on the car and you had a loan on the car. There was a note.
That's correct.
So when she borrowed the car, she knew it was insured. Did you also tell her that you had the gap insurance?
Yes.
And what year, make, and model of car was it?
A 2015 Mitsubishi Mirage.
Did you buy it new or used?
Brand new.
And how long was the loan on the car?
6 or 7 years. I think it was 6.
So by 2020, you had paid up most of the car.
Yes.
What was the balance left on the car?
I'm not exactly sure the exact balance that was left on the car.
Okay, how much did you pay for the car?
I paid $17,000. That's what it was financed at, so that's not with the finance charges.
Okay, so you paid 17. How much of a down payment did you put down?
I didn't put any money down on it.
So in 5 years between 2015 and 2017, you paid off about 80% of the car.
Yes.
What's the car worth now?
Based on 75,000 miles in good condition, I'm seeing between 5,500 and 7,500.
Okay. Now, after the accident, you put in a claim through your insurance.
Yes.
And your insurance covered how much?
The insurance paid out $7,379.
They wrote a check to the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And can I see the paperwork on that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Because what you're suing for now is another $8,496. Okay, so your insurance also paid on the other car that you had the accident with. You had an accident with a Ford Focus?
Yes.
Okay, so they paid $2,900 on that, and they paid you $7,379.
Yes, ma'am.
and show me what the note balance was on the car at the time that they paid this out, which would have been sometime in 2020 or maybe 21.
You want the balance after they paid out or before they paid out?
Both.
Okay. This is after they paid out.
And before.
I don't have a copy of what it was owed on before the accident.
Oh, I need a whole payout because what your niece says is that they paid you the value of the car, which clearly it was the value of the car, because the value of the car, according to Sarah, is between $5,000 and $7,000. They paid you $73.79, which clearly covered a substantial part of your note. What the defendant is saying is that during COVID, for financial reasons, you had requested that the payments be put on hold.
Right.
And that you not make any payments on the car, and that the interest would continue to accrue.
Right.
And that's not her fault. You asked to have the payments put off, but you drove the car. You had the benefit of driving the car all during COVID.
Right.
And she shouldn't be penalized. The insurance company paid out what the car was worth. These additional charges are because you put off making the payments during COVID, and it also accrued that interest. That's your defense. Am I right?
Yes.
That I have to see.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it. I want to see it.
The paper that you have there, that's from, it shows that a payment was made on that car on September 4th, 2020, and that was the last payment that was made. So if there were no payments being made during that time that she had the car, it was.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, when COVID started, did you
Yes.
put the payments on hold?
I did, because I was no longer working, so they gave me the option to delay my payment, which means they tack them on to the end.
And I understand that, but you were driving the car. You were driving the car. She's not going to pay for that.
She had the car from the beginning of September, and she was only supposed to have it for 3 days when her car got fixed.
It doesn't matter. First of all, you didn't bring me the documentation that I need. You didn't bring me what was actually owed on the car and what was owed on the car and how much was owed as a result of your deferring payments and interest.
When I did the stop payments on the car, it was before she even borrowed it.
Well, that may be, madam, but if what you're telling me is you started to pay again,
Yeah.
you still drove the car when you deferred payments.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, well, that's not her responsibility.
But the balance that's left on the car, they paid what the value of the car was. They said that they don't pay finance charges. So there was a balance of 37.
Well, the finance charges were finance charges that accrued, and you don't have the paperwork for me
not
here.
$3,700 worth of finance charge for 2 months.
No, that's not for 2 months. I don't know what the finance charges were for. It doesn't say that. You don't have the paperwork here. You don't have the right paperwork. So you have to understand something. What you're suing her for is $8,496. First of all, the car is only worth $5,000. You got $7,300 that the insurance company paid directly to the lender. And I don't have what you owed here before the accident. I don't have that. And the payments that you deferred, if you deferred payments prior to that time, that's your responsibility.
But I only deferred payments for 3 months. That's not going to
Just a
amount
second.
to $3,700.
I have no idea. You should have brought the paperwork. This is not that paperwork.
So I'm out of a whole car. Like, I've invested almost $10,000 into this car. I let her use the car, and
That's what your insurance for.
and now I'm just not out only the $3,700. Now it's been late charges and other charges on that, and now it's $6,000 that's on my credit.
You defer the payments. I can't tell how many months you deferred the payments. You said maybe I deferred it 3 payments. I don't know. You didn't bring me the paperwork.
I deferred.
You can't tell me.
If she would have never had the car, then I would have been responsible totally to pay all of that amount. It's cost me more than just this amount that's still on my credit.
She didn't do anything wrong so far. I mean, you have a 21-year-old girl who shouldn't have taken the car keys without permission.
And later today,
You write to her that you saw her take some stuff, and you say to her, so don't tell me you don't steal from me. Friends don't steal from friends.
killed it in an accident.
She says you deferred the payments. That was the reason for these overages, which I can understand, because otherwise the insurance company, and if you had gap insurance, which you say you did, would have paid any gap between the loan.
My gap insurance was only until a certain amount of time, and then after that, the gap insurance only pays a certain amount.
I don't know any of that. What I need from you, you didn't bring. You brought only what was necessary to put forth your position. I need what was owed on the car and for past due payments with accrued interest and for current payments. And you don't have that. So far, all I know is you had full insurance on this car and the full insurance was paid. And if there was a reason that the insurance company, for some reason, didn't pay an amount of money, I don't have an explanation of that here in what you gave me, except the explanation that she offers, which was during COVID, you deferred your payments and the interest was accruing, and that the insurance company was not going to pay because that was done prior to October.
That's not
2020.
That's not true. I deferred 1 or 2 payments.
Well,
I
2
did
minutes
not,
ago, was that 3 payments?
Because, ma'am, I'm sorry. Let me just explain that. During this time, April 2020, I lost my mother to COVID. So I had 2 cars. I had the pink car and I had the car that I gave to my mom, which is a black car, which was also in my name that I was responsible for. The car that I put the deferred payments on was the Kia Optima. That's the one that I put the deferred payments on. This car, I had a couple late payments, but I never stopped paying that car note.
I can't tell you. You don't have the paperwork. All that I can tell you is the insurance company paid everything that they were supposed to pay, including the gap insurance for this accident.
The gap
so I can't help
did
you.
not pay.
Listen to me. I'm not going to repeat myself. This doesn't tell me how much you owed prior to the accident and what it was for. And if it shows that all you owed currently prior to the accident, it had to show that that was $73.79 and it included the gap insurance. You may have had old finance fees that had nothing to do with her.
The gap insurance never paid.
I can't help you, madam. You don't have the right paperwork.
If she would have never had the car, then I would have been responsible totally to pay all of that amount. But because I don't have a car, it disrupted my life. It's cost me more than just this amount that's still on my credit.
She didn't do anything wrong so far. I mean, you have a 21-year-old girl who shouldn't have taken the car keys without permission. But the car was there, and it was there with your permission, and there's no question that the accident was her fault.
I have been asking her to return my car.
If you have the proof, the only thing I want you to show me is a document from your lender which says how much was owed at the time of the accident and for what. Do you have that?
I don't, because I didn't think that I needed it.
Okay, well, then I can't help you. Today's a court day. This is the day you have.
I have a ton of evidence here.
Madam, you don't have the evidence that I need. Your request for $9,000 for a $5,000 car in which you've already been paid $7,300 is ridiculous. So all I have to see is how much was deferred and the interest on the accrued that you deferred while you were using the car before she had it for this 5 or 6 weeks that she had it in September. If you have that, I'll look at it. If you don't have it, I'm not interested. Do you have
the paperwork that you have?
Well, then I'm going to give it back to you, and you're going to show me where it shows here in October of 2020 how much you owed on the car and how much were past payments and finance charges based on the last payments. You understand what you gave me? If I can make this as simple as possible for you, if you never loaned her the car, if you had the car for that 5-week period and you had an accident with the car during that 5-week period, you would be in the exact same position you are now. The company would have paid off what they paid and would not have paid off what you still owed them because you deferred payments. It doesn't matter who was driving the car.
And I do understand
that. Okay, good.
And I'm glad you understand.
I'm glad you understand it.
My car.
I'm glad you understand that. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
She needed to borrow my car.
It was just a bad accident. It was just me, young, got into an accident.
So I thought that I was helping her. You know, so when this balance is due, I'm the one that's out.
The car hit me and ran the light and it hit me.
You know, I'm the one that suffered. I'm the one that got to pay all of that money.
I'm fine.
So I don't think that that was fair at all.
So for a period of time, let's say 6 or 7 months, her numbers kept changing. First it was 3 months she didn't pay, and then it was 1 or 2 months that she didn't say, and she may have been late a little bit. Well, the insurance company's not going to give you credit for that. And it didn't look to me, based on the papers, that there was any animus between the parties until
right now.
Today. And then maybe she should be angry with me and not at them. They all know each other and get along with each other. So that the amount of money she has to pay is the amount of money she should have paid while she was driving the car but chose to defer.
And I think that that's a good lesson about deferring payments, especially now with COVID and everything. I know people my age, 25, around there, have been deferring payments, whether it be for car notes or for interest on your loans, things like that, that sometimes she didn't even realize that this was all accruing under the surface. So you think that by deferring, if you don't read the fine print, that could be a good lesson that
yeah,
if an
she said she had a lot of
happens,
other things going on in her life, but that...
And again, it was an accident. You don't call it an on purpose. So.
Right.
Case 2133, Morrissey versus Comer. All parties, please come forward.
Tabitha Morrissey is suing her former friend, Tina Comer, for an unpaid loan and personal belongings.
Ms. Morrissey, you have a lot of claims here against the defendant for a personal loan and the value of personal belongings.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. She was a friend of yours. You used to go gambling together, Ms. Morrissey?
Yes, we did.
How many times a week did you go gambling?
Probably once or twice a week.
And did you go just the two of you?
Yes.
And over what period of time?
Over...
A year, 2, 3?
Probably a year.
There was a time when you went, and according to you, Miss Comer didn't have any money. And so you agreed to advance her money. And she says, actually, you agreed to advance her money. And the agreement was if you won, she would pay you back with her winnings, whatever
Your
it was.
Honor, that's...
Whatever it was. How much money did you give her to gamble?
I loaned her $230 with the agreement that she would pay me an extra $200 because she was going to get her mother's inheritance.
Okay. On what date?
April 28, 2022.
Okay. And you went gambling with her?
No. She came by and we were going to go meet at the casino, but I didn't really want to do it because I have a boyfriend that doesn't
Just a second. I don't need a whole story.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So she went to the casino without me, and then she came by my house after that and told me that she spent her boyfriend's money at the casino, and so that she was supposed to use it at the store. And so I gave her the money to cover that, and that's when we made that agreement.
You gave her the money to cover that because she asked you for it?
Yes.
And she agreed to pay you back?
Yes.
Okay. February, did you go to the casino?
All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case 3029, Garlic versus Simiti.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Garlic, you have a business. I don't know if this is your main business, but you sell miniature pigs.
That is correct. This is one of my major businesses.
How long have you been doing that?
About 18 years.
You have photographs of what your pigs look like?
Sure.
Yeah, take a look at them, please.
Do you want the ones that she got off of me?
No.
Oh, adult ones? I do have some adult ones. There's a couple photos for her.
Okay. I'm going to try to simplify this if I can. And these are babies, or are these...
Those are older ones. Like a year old, 8 months to a year old.
How much do they weigh?
Typically, if you feed correctly, anywhere from about 12 pounds up to about 40 pounds. About the size of a medium-sized dog.
Okay. And do they live in the house?
These are house pets. So they're litter box trained. I try to train them before they ever leave. I spend a lot of time with that.
Okay. How much do you sell them for?
Typically, my prices range between about $2,000, depending on age and size, up to about $3,500.
And I assume that in this business, the smaller they are,
the more they cost.
Well, just
and
sort of
also
like...
the younger they are, the more they cost.
Okay. You were buying these as pets for yourself?
Correct.
And you were going to buy 2?
Yes.
Where did you see the plaintiff advertising the piglets, or did you hear it by word of mouth?
Just Google.
Just tell me what would inspire you to get a pig instead of a dog.
Well, I have 3 dogs and 3 cats. But I went to the state fair and I saw them in the piglets in the birthing barn.
Okay, and you fell in love. Got it.
There we go.
Got it. So you bought 2 pigs. According to both of you, you gave a deposit for the pigs, correct?
Yes, she gave a deposit on each pig because the amount was more and she didn't have enough right then, so she's going to make payments.
Okay. And in total, she paid you how much?
She paid me $1,500 deposit on each piglet, and then she gave me 3 payments of $250 Zelle payments, which she was supposed to pay for $250 every 2 weeks.
Okay, so she paid you $3,750 altogether.
Yes, which she's reversed all that.
I understand that.
Okay.
And the total purchase price for the 2 pigs that she purchased?
Okay, each one was $2,700.
Okay.
And
well, let me go through something that each of you agree on. She purchased 2. You sent them to her.
Correct.
In transit, before she got them, one of them died.
Yes, due to complication of Spain. Okay.
One of them didn't die in your custody.
Correct.
Died in transit.
Correct.
Okay, so we don't know, but we know that certainly the
Correct.
piglet didn't die of old age. It died in transit, so she only received 1.
Right.
At that time. And what was the date of that?
She had it delivered on the 21st of September.
Okay. And when you contracted for these piglets, Miss Satimi, did you sign a contract?
I did not, no.
Did you get any paperwork at all from her?
I have text messages stating the amount owed.
No. Do you have a contract?
Didn't have a contract with her. I did send her multiple
Well, just a second. You didn't have a contract with her. So you got the pig, and there were no other terms that were agreed to by both of you in writing other than the price. And what was the total price?
$5,400 is what she owed total.
Yeah. And of that, she gave you $3,750. Okay. At some point, you took another piglet, Miss Satimi, to replace the one that had died in transit.
No, when Miss
Just a second. Well, you say you did, so you got to get your story straight. At some point, you accepted a second piglet from the plaintiff to replace the one who had died in transit.
It was get the pig or get no money back. So those are my 2 options.
Just a second. Well, that's true, Miss Satimi, because you don't have a contract with her, according to you, that you can show me. She doesn't either. So in a contract for an animal that I know I've purchased over the last 60 years from a breeder, it usually says that there is a health guarantee until you take the dog to a vet, or if the dog has a congenital illness and it's discovered by a vet, you get either a return of your money or pick of litter. There are all kinds of terms contained in a contract that I know I've always gotten, and so you understand them. If you bought these pigs for her and you bought them without any written conditions, then she has to.
I do have a written thing that was sent to her.
I don't care whether it was sent to her, whether or not she acknowledged it. You can't have a one-sided contract.
Right.
You understand that.
I do.
You don't have a one-sided contract. So unless she agreed to that someplace, which she clearly did not, that's meaningless, what you're going to show me. And if you pay attention and don't shout out, maybe you'll find out that what I'm saying to her is to your benefit, and you're not supposed to interfere when the fact finder seems to be finding in your favor. So she was under no obligation to return your money.
No, she had.
So I'm just telling you, you accept. The answer is you accepted a second pig.
Yes, I did. Yep.
Was it in September?
It was. I didn't. Yes.
In September. On what date did you accept the second pig?
The second pig, I did not receive that until a month later, which was October 19th.
Fine. So these are a couple of questions I have specifically for you. The first pig that you got from her on September 21st is named what?
That is alive?
Yes.
That is Bacon.
And what did you name the second pig that you got on October 19th?
That was Hammy.
And according to your papers, you took Hammy and Bacon to the vet on the 28th of October.
26th, I brought them to the vet.
That's different from what you said here. I assume you have the paperwork from the vet.
Yep, I got the discharge summary.
Here you say in your answer that you took them on the 28th and you got an estimate for spaying them.
I went on the 26th, and at that point I found out that the pigs were not spayed as per...
As per what?
As per our conversation, I had conversations saying that the pig will be spayed. And on the 26th, I went to the vet, found out it was not spayed, and said, how much would it be to spay? I got a quote on the 28th, and that is...
Did you take the pigs back for the quote?
No.
So you, I'm...
proof they were spayed.
Just a second. I'm talking. Okay. You don't want me just to dismiss your whole case.
No.
Right? Which I'm thoroughly prepared to do. I have other things to do today. All I know is you brought in 2 healthy pigs shortly after being seen by the vet, who described the pigs as happy and healthy. One of them died. What does that have to do with her? They're in your care. What does that have to do with her? Without having put in an appropriate part, because you couldn't find it, this leak, which caused you to turn off the water, because it was a pretty significant leak, you turned the water back on.
The reason why I turned the water off, because you have to take the cartridge out. If I left the water on and took the cartridge out,
Listen, Mr. Shelton.
I know, that's
Mr.
why
Shelton,
I turned the water
Mr.
off.
Shelton, you're not being a two-process thinker, sir. Let me explain something to you. I came to California from Connecticut to the place where we live in California. I walked into the master bath, to the toilet, et voila, I see a puddle of water around the toilet. I say to myself, Self, you went to law school. You don't know what this is. But it's not a leak that's coming from the back. It's a leak that looks like it's coming from the bottom. So I called engineering. Fortunately, I live in a place where somebody will come up. They came up right away. The first thing they did was turn off the water. Smart, just like you did. Then they opened up the problem, looked at the problem and said, we need a part. Unfortunately, those are not the same parts that we keep in the hotel. We'll have to order it. Turned off the water. Use a different bathroom. For the 2-3 days it needs to get the part. You weren't there. So just pay attention to me, Mr. Foy. You weren't there. I'm just letting you know what common sense is living on the planet for a long time. If you have a leak that's caused by a faulty part, and you don't fix the part because you don't have the part, you turn the water off.
May I point something out? He had to turn off the water to the whole house because there is no shut-off to the shower.
Just a second.
He had turned the water off to the whole house, and he put this cartridge back before he turned the water on.
What difference does it make if he put the cartridge back? He has taken the cartridge apart.
No.
In order to see what it was, he took it out of the wall.
He took it out of the wall, but it does not take it apart.
Mr. Shelton, if your employee, and if what you're saying is accurate, which I don't actually think is accurate, because every room in a house usually has a turn-off valve, especially in the bathroom, so you don't have to turn off all the water to the kitchen and to other bathrooms, perhaps. If there's a problem in the shower, there's a master lever for the whole house, and then there are smaller levers for each.
For everything except the shower, ma'am.
What do you mean for everything except the shower?
The shower does not have an individual shut-off. You do indeed have to shut off the water to the house. The vanities, the toilets all have individual angle stops, but the shower does not.
Were you ever at the house?
No, ma'am.
No, so you were never at the house?
No, ma'am.
How many square feet is your house?
It's 2,500.
It's a substantial house. So you're telling me in a 2,500 square foot house, if you have a leak in the shower, you have to turn off all the water if you want to turn off the shower water?
Yes, ma'am. That's absolutely correct.
That's absolutely correct. Having not been there.
Yes, ma'am. I build houses.
No. I don't care what you build. You weren't in that house.
This has no shut-off, ma'am, other than the whole house. You have to shut the water to the house off to shut that off.
So now here's my question. Did you tell the plaintiff that she had 2 options, either to shut the water off in the whole house until you could get a part because there was still a leak, or you could leave it on, but you have to watch it because according to you, the water was substantial that was coming out. She said it was a trickle. You said, oh, no. It was a steady stream of water. And that was before you started messing with it. So my question to you is, did you tell her that those were her options? She's not a plumber. That you either had to turn off all the water in the house and you would return the next day with a part, or you could leave the water on, but it was still going to be leaking. Did you tell her that?
Yes. It would still be leaking.
No way.
It would still be leaking because it was leaking when I left.
No way, Mr. Shelton. No way did you tell her that. No way did you say to her, this shower is still going to be leaking because I can't shut the water off just to the bathroom. I have to shut off all the water in the house. If you're trying to sell me that story, I have a bridge I want to sell you because I don't believe it.
There's no way to isolate that valve?
I didn't ask you that.
When it comes to the shower...
You were never there.
Or the tub...
Just a second.
You can't turn it off individually.
You were never there. I have this question for you. How many bathrooms do you have in your house?
3.
When he left the first time and he shut the water off, did he indicate to you that you couldn't use the water anywhere in the house?
Yes. I believe he told me at first that he was going to shut off the water to the house.
Okay, so you knew. So you couldn't use any other of the toilets in the house?
No.
Okay, you may be getting better. When he left, did you use the bathroom? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So you knew that the water had been turned back on?
Oh, absolutely.
In the house. Just a minute. So you knew the water had been turned back on in the house, even though he didn't tell you I'm turning it back on, you knew. And you knew that he hadn't fixed the problem.
Correct.
So you knew that you better watch this, which is why you called your contractor to come and look at it.
Correct.
You're getting better, Mr. Foy. You're coming into a better place, you see? Things work themselves out. Now, you know that the water is still dripping. You know that there's still a leak.
Correct.
You know that if you use the water, that water is still going to be a steady stream coming out. You didn't get another plumber there until when?
The next morning.
Well, that's your contractor. You said he came the next morning.
No, I got a plumber there the next morning.
Okay, okay. And they came, and did they fix the valve?
They had to open the wall to cap off the hot and cold water.
So it was a big job.
It was huge. I neglected to say it in the beginning, but when he took the shower valve off, he looked in the wall and he said, "It's dry in there, you're lucky." So that next morning when I walked into the master bedroom and I was walking in wet, I did call the Skywick. Mm-hmm.
Now tell me where you felt it when you walked into the master bedroom. Do you have wood floors there or carpet?
It's all wood. And it was right as I got to where the bathroom and the master bedroom meet. There's no door.
So it was outside that it was wet.
I thought my dog had an accident on the floor.
And prior to the 29th, it's not getting to look good for you again. Prior to the time, Mr. Shelton.
May I clarify? The room that she's talking about, the shower's here. Robbie's working in the shower where it's all tile.
You weren't there.
And we never went into her bedroom.
Yes, you did. You have to.
You can't tell me that because you weren't there. Is the bathroom adjacent to the bedroom?
So to get to the master bathroom, you have to walk into the master bedroom and make a left.
Okay. Now, Mr. Shelton, you recall saying to the plaintiff, when you looked in the wall, you're lucky it's dry in here?
I said it looks dry. I'm not next.
Just a second. Mr. Shelton, you wouldn't have said to her, it looks dry in here, I'm not an expert.
An expert on water
damage.
Say? Yeah, I didn't, you can't really see into that wall because it's tiled, right? You can't really look into the wall unless you open it, but there was no reason for me to open it.
Evidently, you're wrong. Either you were wrong that it was dry, or when you put the thing back together again.
Sia did not properly fulfill their T-shirt order and owes them a refund.
Let me see if I can give you the Reader's Digest of what he was saying and tell me if that's what you understood. Would you do that for me? They ordered 320 T-shirts. For all intents and purposes, and because of our easy math, he sent them half. They paid for 320. What he's saying is because they kept making changes, they spent more time on the half that they got, so they didn't feel that they had to send them the other half. Is that what you're getting?
Yes.
That's a duh. Do you understand? That's a duh. You know, I'm trying to think of an analogous situation for you. I'm a dentist's daughter, and I know that sometimes in my father's business, somebody would come in and he'd look at a tooth and he'd say, you know what? It's a simple filling, you know, and I'm going to charge so much. And then he started to work. Patient said, okay, you know, that's a reasonable figure. And he started to work. And all of a sudden he found, well, there was a little something else in there that he really had to do in order to do what he said he could do for 20 bucks. Mm-hmm. And so it took him more time. You think he charged the patient for that? No, he didn't. So you at least owe them half of what they sent you. They sent you $8,000. Let's make it nice and easy because I'm an easy girl. And you didn't send them half the T-shirts. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to talk about the T-shirts that you did send them. Because are we finished with the ones that you didn't?
Yep.
Yep. Now we're going to go to the ones that they did send. And you have to show me why they were unsatisfactory. Pick it up.
Perfect.
So this is the sample that we received from him. So like the way samples work is he'll send us the clothing, we'll A-OK it. So we A-OK this. This is a large, by the way. Everything's perfect, everything's great.
Okay, good.
So let me show you the XL and the small.
So this right here I'm holding is an XL. The difference. And you want to see another thing?
Smaller.
This is what I'm holding is a small. We ordered 4 small sizes: small, medium, large, and XL.
Hold on, can I see the smalls?
Yeah.
Can I see?
Oh, still sorry. Here you go.
Well, this could be a small, a big small, but small. Can I see the extra small, please?
Extra large.
Extra large?
Yeah.
Same exact size.
They're the same size. The small and the extra large, if you hold them up together, they're exactly the same size.
Lexi, hold these up together, would you please? Let me see. He said they're the same size. I don't think so. Could I? One certainly looked bigger to me, but not a small and an extra large. Okay, now this is what I'd like you to do, Cassandra. I want you to send these over to the defendant, and I'd like him to explain to me why these are the same size. One is labeled small, one is labeled extra large. This has nothing to do with a change of design. This has to do with almost math, which, as we all know, is not my strong suit. Okay, so now give me an explanation, sir. This has nothing to do with changing of the design. That has to do with 2 T-shirts that are exactly the same. One says small, one says extra large. Explain it.
This is a very simple fix, so there was just an issue with the tag in the labeling.
Just a second. That's what you sent them.
Yeah, that's
Just a
exactly
second.
my explanation. No, well, this is for the actual garment. What I was referring to was the print on the design.
No, I'm talking about the actual garment. Did you
Correct.
send that to them?
I did send
Just
it.
a second. You sent that to them with the label that was mislabeled.
Correct.
Okay, how many of the mislabeled T-shirts did you send them?
It's a very common mistake in manufacturing.
Don't give me
I'm not sure. They didn't give me a number of how many were mixed up.
How many?
Exactly 73.
You see, what the problem, Mr. Garcia, is they can't sell those online because if somebody calls and orders a small and they send them a small, it's an extra large. Or if somebody calls and orders an extra large and they get it and it's got a small.
And that could be easily fixed by just changing
Who
the tag.
cares?
Yeah.
You know, my face can be easily fixed.
Both.
Not so easily anymore.
These are all just fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, they can all be fixed.
Yeah.
When it happens, it doesn't always have to be sent out.
Yada, 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 yada. Okay, so half you didn't send them, and 73 you sent them wrong. Of the other half, 73 you sent
Labeled
them wrong.
Correct.
You sent them wrong that they can't resell as you sent them online. I mean, they could send them to a pop-up store and sell them for nothing.
Or
and
donate
say,
them.
you know, you try it on and see whether it fits you. But you can't sell them online. Otherwise, their business would be destroyed. Okay, what about the rest? Now we're finished with the sizes.
He has claimed to sent us over 180 shirts. That's incorrect. He sent us 123 exactly.
Do you have any proof that you sent them 180 shirts?
I had them in text messages, but I don't have that phone. But I mean, I'm sure that
Everybody that has no case has no phone.
I mean, I have.
Mr. Garcia, everybody that
proof that
has
I sent
no
them
proof,
pictures, yes. I have
everyone
photos.
then show it to me that you sent them 180 shirts.
Well, I don't have all 180 in the picture. I don't know if you'll be able to count them, but.
You want me to count them? You're in
necessarily.
business. Mr. Garcia.
You want to show her?
No, you're in business, sir. That's not the way you run a business. 120 they sent, and of the 120, how many were you able to sell?
Out of the 120?
Just a second. And out of the 120, does that include the 73 that were wrong size?
Yeah.
Oh, that includes.
So
the
we're
70
left with only 50 that weren't labeled incorrectly.
How many shirts did he send you that you were able to sell
0. We sold none of his shirts.
because they were mislabeled or you didn't
Mislabeled
get
or
them?
misprinted and didn't get them.
Great. Do you have any text messages between the two of you?
So many.
Anything in specific?
I'd like you to show me one where you say to him, we cannot sell these shirts, they're the wrong size.
We'll show you the demand letter. So we sent him a demand letter, hoping that he'd still try to solve it outside of court, but he never replied to it and just never sent us
So right
anything.
here, it'd be us telling him that the items received were not as promised, and the other side would be the lawsuit issue.
You say in this demand letter that you are requesting, first of all, he doesn't communicate with you when you send him information back and forth. So you say, sir, since you do not wish to communicate us, here's an official demand letter.
Yes.
You say that you paid him $15,986.
Correct. And harassed her. Janita is countersuing Keila for a water heater and property damage.
Do you remember what that dispute was about, Miss Bell?
The drugs in the kitchen cabinet.
That was about the drugs. Well, explain it to me.
When I called Miss Akins and explained to her about drugs being in my kitchen cabinet, I was convicted over 15 years ago for drugs. It was the way I chose, to support me and my children. I made a vow that when I got taken away from my children, I would never do it again. So I haven't touched drugs. When I called Miss Akins and explained to her the situation, I felt like I was taken advantage of.
Do you think she knew that there were drugs in your house?
Honestly, I do.
Well, what would make you think that? Did she know about your history?
She does.
Did you tell her?
She's a friend of my aunt.
This is a problem, Miss Akins, this first eviction notice. I don't know what antisocial behavior is, breaking the lease. What is that? Because illegal drugs, I don't believe, were hers. The house may have been vacant for 4 months, but it's also possible that somebody else got in there. There is no question in my mind that she would not call you and tell you that she found drugs in the house.
Your Honor, can I just say that the house was a Section 8 house. The house had been inspected several times.
I don't care. I don't care.
By the inspector?
I don't care. I don't know what the inspector did, whether he opened up cabinets or whatever. It just doesn't make sense for the plaintiff to call you and tell you that she found drugs in the house, especially since she didn't want to move then. She didn't want to move out of the house. So why would she call you and say there were drugs in the house? I mean, I can understand if she called and said, listen, there are drugs in the house and I don't like what's going on here, so I want to move. But it doesn't make sense for her to call you.
She didn't say she wanted to move.
No, I said to you, it doesn't make sense for her to call you. Okay, so illegal drugs, forget it. Disturbing the peace, that's when you got into an altercation with her about the drugs in the house, and yes, I can see she's emotional about that. Antisocial behavior is a very large thing, so any judge would have thrown out this complaint, which I assume that they did because it was nonsense.
Yes.
Okay, so we have, we have one nonsense eviction notice. When was the next eviction notice?
The next one was 11/1.
When was the next eviction notice you filed against her, Miss Akins?
I filed that personally. I hadn't had a lawyer at an attorney.
I don't care
at the time.
if you had a lawyer. So it's nonsense.
Right. So I do believe the next one was in November.
Okay.
I do believe the next one was in November because I had filed that one incorrectly.
Okay. May I see it, please? Thank you. Okay, so this one says non-payment. Did you pay your rent in December?
Yes, ma'am.
What non-payment did you sue her for?
Keila was constantly late with the...
She only lived there for 2 months at the time.
Right, so...
She lived there October, November, and this was filed December 6th. So what non-payment?
She was late with that month's rent.
Just a second. Non-payment. This was filed December 6th.
December 6th, right. Rent is due on the 1st.
Okay. Did you get paid from Section 8?
Yeah, I do believe.
Just a second. So you got paid from Section 8, and at that time, Section 8 was paying the vast majority of it. She was only paying $87. So there had to be another reason that you were moving to evict her, other than this minuscule payment, and it was only the 6th of the month.
It was also about her pit bulls, right? I had asked her when we set up the lease, and I met with her, before she moved in, she told me she had a dog, and I accepted Keila. The only way that I accepted Keila was that if she had a kennel put in the backyard for her 2 pit bulls. I have a grandson.
Was it in the lease?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see the lease? Kevin, would you show this to Miss Bell, please, and ask her if that's her signature and that's the lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you moved in, you knew you had to have a kennel for your 2 pit bulls?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you put it in?
That week.
The week that you moved in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, Your Honor. That didn't happen. She didn't move a kennel into the backyard until April of this year.
Your Honor, I've got a video.
I'd like to take a look
That's
at it.
from April of this year.
Miss Bell, just make sure that what you're showing me is 2 weeks after you moved in. Do you understand?
Okay.
Don't show it to me. Don't show it to me unless the kennel was put in within 2 weeks of your moving in.
Okay, this doesn't have a date, but this is her son attacking me when the kennel was being put in the backyard.
In April.
Just a second. Month and year.
Okay.
Listen to me carefully, Miss Bell.
Okay.
Let's not play with each other. Was the kennel put in April of 2023?
No, ma'am. The kennel was put in October when I moved in.
Okay. And did you purchase the kennel? Did you purchase the kennel?
No, I did, but I bought it from a friend.
Miss Bell, you know we're in trouble here.
I don't have a receipt for it.
This last one was filed in December of 2022, and it alleges violation of the lease. Was the violation of the lease in 2022 that you're referring to the lack of a kennel in the house for the 2 pit bulls?
Yes, ma'am, that's part of it.
Well, the other one is utilities shut off. What does that mean?
So her utilities had gotten shut off. When the gas company came back out to restore service, it done something to my hot water tank, to the hot water tank. She or someone with her lit a self-igniting hot water tank, right, that destroyed the hot water tank in the property. So I then had to shell out
I got a red tag.
almost $900 to replace the hot water tank.
So far, I don't believe that you put in a kennel when you moved in, so she's allowed to file this eviction notice. When was the next one? I want you to understand that I believe
yes, ma'am,
that you didn't put in a kennel for the dogs
I hear you.
until April of 2023. You hear me? When you moved out, did you leave things of yours there?
No.
She left the dog there for 10 days with no heat and said that I exposed the dog to 20-degree weather on Facebook. She said that.
Did you leave a dog there?
Suing Keela for a water heater and property damage.
I want you to understand that I believe
yes, ma'am,
that you didn't put in a kennel for the dogs
I hear you.
until April of 2023. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okay. When was the next one?
The next is so many, Your Honor.
Oh, that's okay. I'm telling you, you were still there and you didn't put in a kennel until April of 2023. You were in violation of your lease for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
were in
it
violation of your lease for a very long time. Because I wouldn't like to live next door to you with 2 pit bulls roaming around the backyard.
Right.
Anything else?
Not with the eviction.
Great. So your next cause of action is slander, defamation of character. Tell me what that was.
She made a few Facebook posts using my name.
In what way?
Saying how much I owed in rent, saying that I was unable to pay it. And then there's another one where she said that I tore her house up.
That's what she's counterclaiming for.
Yeah.
So far, none of that is slanderous. Yeah, she lets her animals tear up the property. Miss Bell?
Yes, ma'am.
She says back here in August of this year, she lies about it, but fails to inform the magistrate landlord she lets her animals tear up the property. But does she want repairs done? No. Why, you say? She engineers lies on Facebook to justify her actions and not giving me access to the property so it can look like I'm not doing the repairs.
What she put on Facebook.
Yeah, I know it's what you put on Facebook. Your case is dismissed. All right, so we're finished with you. Money owed for defamation, property damage. How did she damage your property? That's all I'm interested in.
She lit the self-igniting hot water tank.
Okay, what else?
Like, I had the attorney's fees from her.
What attorney's fees?
The attorney's fees about this case. They were $875.
For what?
For
what case are you talking about?
I'm talking about the small claims court case. And we also talked about tenants issues. We talked about, what I would be liable for. She filed an answer.
All right, very, very nice. It's all very, very nice. You're living someplace else now?
Yes, ma'am.
You have another tenant in the house?
No, ma'am. She hasn't released tenancy from the property, which is why I have to keep putting notices on the door so I can stay legal.
Stop for a second. What do you mean she hasn't released?
She hasn't given me the keys back to the property. She hasn't told me that she was moving from the property. My attorney called and, made contact to ask and had me ask her, and she hasn't moved anything.
You mean she still has property there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. She still has property there.
What does she have?
She has a bed, a dresser.
Just a second. Do you still have any property that you want in the house?
No, ma'am.
You don't?
No.
When you moved out, did you leave things of yours there?
No.
What about a bed?
No.
A dog?
What?
She left the dog there for 10 days with no heat and said that I exposed the dog to 20-degree weather on Facebook. She said that.
Did you leave a dog there?
No, ma'am.
You took a dog with you?
Yes.
Okay, you have any proof?
I have both.
Did she have 3 dogs?
I have 2.
No, did she have 3?
She actually had 9. She had 2 dogs. Those dogs had puppies, and she ran a little farm out of my house.
Listen to me. You've both submitted yourself to my jurisdiction.
Yes.
Say nothing. She has now gone from the house. I find that she is acknowledged that she is no longer a tenant of yours.
Cool.
Anything in the house that you do not want to keep that you think was hers, you can dispose of. Sell it, throw it away, change the locks on the door, the tumbler. If she didn't give you the keys back, change the tumbler. I will prepare that order, and I will sign it, and you agree with it, correct?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She's going to dispose of any property that's there. She's going to change the tumbler this week because he should do that anyway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
She don't own the house.
I don't care who owns the house. She was your landlord. That's what she says. So if she wants to do that, she can do that. But you have nothing there that you claim is yours anymore, and you are no longer a tenant in that house.
Correct.
So whoever owns the house can get rid of whatever they want, can change the locks on the doors. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Perfect. We're finished. We'll prepare the order for you. Thank you. Bye.
This court is adjourned.